What's going on, everybody? I'm back in my personal recording studio, and once again I'm reaching out to my beginner audio recording engineers and giving you a few tips on how to better improve your audio recordings. In my previous video I talked about using a pop filter in order to help better nail those vocals from the onset. In this video I'm going to take it a step further and introduce you to another process that will also help to deliver even better vocal recordings. Now, in most cases, this is not absolutely necessary, but if you actually want to know how the professionals actually deliver those quality vocals in a recording, well, there are certain things that you need to know. And yes, some of those things include additional equipment that I'm going to tell you what it is. And in this video, we're going to be discussing your microphone chain for vocal recording. Now, you might be asking yourself, what is a microphone chain in the recording process? Well, if you look at some of the well-known engineers and studio producers, you will notice that there are several pieces of equipment that they are using from the point of the mic, everything in between before the actual sound reaches the recording software itself. And all of those elements, all of those pieces of equipment, if you will, between the microphone and the DAW, which is your digital audio workstation, is considered to be your mic chain. And that chain can consist of a host of equipment, depending on your style and what kind of sound you're trying to get. Now, I'm just going to give you some of the basic ideas of some of the most common mic chains out there. This is simple because I don't want to take this too far because it can get very advanced depending on the type of sound that you're looking for and the equipment that you introduce within your mic chain. Now, obviously at the front end, you're always going to have your microphone. And from the microphone on is where you need to determine what kind of sound or what particular gear you're going to want in order to enhance your sound even further for the recording process. Now, in my case, I take a few steps in the beginning to ensure that my vocals have even more impact as I'm tracking them. And one of the first steps I take is introducing a microphone preamp, or mic preamp if you will, into my mic chain. Now, my mic preamp of choice is the Avalon 737 vacuum tube mic preamp. Now, this is considered to be a somewhat expensive mic preamp, somewhere up in the tune of about $2,300, but you don't have to start there if you're new at this. You can always start somewhere lower, and then as you begin to grow and expand, then you can upgrade your equipment to a more sophisticated mic preamp. Now, there are differences in the mic preamps themselves, but first let me explain very quickly why you need a mic preamp. Now, a mic preamp is essentially just what it is suggesting. It is an amplification process that boosts the signal from any mic source. Now, while a mic may have some wonderful characteristics about it, by the time it goes from the microphone and through the cabling before it gets to your DAW, if there is nothing inserted within that mic chain, what happens is the signal starts to get lost and you're not really getting the full quality or that full fidelity from the microphone itself. And this is where a mic preamp comes into play. Because of the amplification in the different types of mic preamps, it actually helps boost all of those characteristics that are found in the specific microphone that you have purchased. Now, obviously, the different microphones will respond differently to different mic preamps. One of the things I try to suggest is try to match the mic preamp with the style of microphone, simply meaning that it doesn't really do you any good to use a very, very cheap mic and then to go out and try and use a very expensive mic preamp. So if you're beginning and you really want to just kind of get a little bit more push on your microphone, then perhaps you want to settle in with a mic preamp that is of a lower caliber. But what you'll find in mic preamps is that there is a classification break from some starter mic preamps into professional mic preamps, and they cross over into a category that's referred to as Class A. Once you cross over that category, Class A mic preamps now start to become more of a professional style mic preamp that is going to cost you a little bit more money. But the effects and the results that you get out of that mic preamp is pretty much worth the money. Now, as you're about to introduce the mic preamp into your mic chain, you'll need to decide just what type of mic preamp you might want to introduce. Now, there are a lot of them out there, so I suggest you do a lot of research and check out the different brands. In my case, I'm using this preamp here, as I mentioned earlier, which is the Avalon 737 VT, which is a vacuum tube. That preamp essentially comes with heated tubes inside of it, so that it delivers a more warm sound, or the sound is just a little bit warmer or thicker. And that's the sound I chose. That's the sound I was looking for. Now, with this particular mic preamp comes with a lot of features on it. And those features include everything from compression to EQ, and also adding some frequency sweeps in high and low areas. It also comes with some side chaining, de-essing, and a few other features associated with this type of mic preamp. Now, in my case, since I'm a little more experienced at tracking vocals and recording overall, I really wanted a mic preamp that was going to help me shape my vocals before I actually track them to my DAW system. And again, you don't have to start at this level, but introducing a mic preamp into your mic chain can definitely help boost your audio recordings as far as your microphone is concerned. Now, there are some other things that can be introduced into the mic chain as well, but for now, a mic preamp will do so much to further enhance what you've already started with your recording process as far as your microphone is concerned. Now, in my case, I have introduced another element, which is over here in this rack right here, this piece on top. And this piece right here on top represents a mastering processor that I've added on top of my mic preamp. Now, this is not necessary, but I was actually looking for just a bit more control before my vocals actually got tracked to my DAW. And in this case, this adds just a little bit of noise gate and a few other features in EQing that help me even more shape my vocals before I actually start the recording process. Now, you'll have to keep in mind when you add these pieces in your mic chain to enhance your sound, you have to consider that these particular settings on whatever devices you're going to use are going to be baked in, which means if you get the settings wrong, especially if you're using a mic preamp like this or a mastering processor like I'm using, you have to be careful that you get the settings right. And it takes a little bit of experience to get there. So my recommendation is that you go ahead and first start with a basic mic preamp just to kind of get yourself to the next level in your vocal recording process. And you can worry about some more advanced things later. Now, these mic preamps come in many shapes, many sizes, and they don't all have these pre-features included in them like EQ and compressing. Some of them are just straightforward, like Solid State Logic makes several good ones that don't have any features on them, just the mic preamp themselves. Universal Audio has some really good mic preamps too, and these particular brands fall into the Class A mic preamps if that's what you're looking for. So think about moving your vocals or your vocal mic chain process to the next level by introducing a mic preamp. It'll do you a lot of good and you'll see a noticeable enhancement on your vocals. Okay, that's it from me in this video today, and I hope you got something from it in order to learn the next step in improving your vocal chain or in improving your overall vocal recordings. Hopefully you'll consider adding new pieces on to improve your mic chain and enhance the way you currently record vocals. That's my video for today. I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.